Hey friends, today we're building a fully functional AI chat app in SwiftUI powered by Apple's on-device language model using the new Foundation Models framework. It's clean, reactive, and streams responses in real time just like ChatGPT but running locally. We'll break it down piece by piece: model logic, message display, thinking animations, input handling, and you'll understand exactly how and why every line works. One last thing. I'm currently available on Upwork, and I genuinely enjoy building new ideas. Scan the code and let's talk about your project. First, this import Apple Foundation Models framework, which includes types like LanguageModelSession, prompt, and transcript. It's essential when working with on-device AI models like the sandboxed LLM on iOS 26. Without this, we can't interact with the language model. This is a Swift macro that marks the class as automatically observable. It makes all the variables inside reactively bind to SwiftUI. Think of it like a published on steroids. You don't need to manually publish properties anymore. SwiftUI will automatically re-render any views that use this class's properties. Here we declare a view model class called LM model, short for Language Model Model. This class will store the state of the chat, manage logic like sending messages, and connect our UI with the model. This is a string property to store what the user types into the input box. We set it to high by default for testing. It's bound to a text field in the UI, so when this changes, the UI reflects it. A Boolean flag that controls the thinking animation. If true, we show a fade animation. If false, we stop. It creates that blinking feedback while waiting for the model to respond. Another Boolean flag used to control whether we show the thinking message at all. Unlike isThinking, which animates, this just decides if we show the text or not. We turn this on after a short delay once a prompt is sent. Here we create a language model session, which manages interaction with the local language model. Inside, we give it a system prompt. This is the instruction that sets the model's tone and behavior. In this case, we're telling it to be brief, helpful, and professional when responding. Now we define the method that sends a user message to the model. This gets triggered when the user taps the send button. It handles the whole request flow, preparing the prompt, triggering the session, waiting for the response, and streaming the reply. We start an asynchronous task block. This lets us run async code inside a regular function. In Swift, you use task when you want to do background work, like networking or AI calls, without blocking the UI thread. We begin a do block so we can handle errors. Because we'll be using try with async functions, we need this structure to safely catch any problems and avoid crashing the app. We take the user's input and wrap it into a prompt object. This is the required format for sending messages to LanguageModelSession. You can't just send a string, it must be a prompt. Immediately after creating the prompt, we clear the input text to empty. This resets the text field in the UI so the user can type a new question. Here we ask the session to stream a response for the given prompt. This returns an async sequence, a stream of mini response chunks. This is how the LLM gives us its reply, token by token, instead of all at once. We delay setting is awaiting response by half a second. This is a small UX polish trick. It prevents the thinking text from flashing too quickly if the model responds almost instantly. This is where we listen to the streamed response. Using for try await allows us to loop through each part of the model's reply as it arrives in real time. As soon as the first chunk of a response arrives, we turn off the loading message. This ensures we stop showing thinking as soon as the model starts talking. If anything goes wrong in the do block, for example, if the model fails to stream a reply, we catch the error here to prevent crashes. Message view. This view handles how each chat message appears in the UI, both the user's messages and the model's responses. Think of it like your message bubble renderer. It styles each message depending on who sent it. This property holds the content of the message, split into segments. A transcript.segment is a foundation model's type that can represent text, structure, or other parts of a language model output. Why a segment array? Because the models see and send rich, structured replies in parts, text, markdown, even code blocks. For now, we'll handle only text. This is a flag that tells us who sent the message. If it's true, it came from the user. If false, it came from the AI. This helps us style the message. We loop over every segment in the message. Even if there's only one line, the loop handles it. If there are multiple chunks, they get stacked vertically. ID is used as a unique identifier for SwiftUI's diffing engine, required in dynamic loops like for each. We use a switch because transcript segment is an enum. Each segment can be text plain message. We're only rendering text for now. If the segment is a plain text message, we extract the text and display it. We create a text view using the content of that segment. We add some padding inside the bubble to give it breathing room. We apply a background color only if isUser equal true, so the user's messages appear with a light gray background and rounded corners. The model's messages don't get a background, they look clean and minimal. Corner radius 12 gives the message bubble rounded edges. This line controls alignment. If it's the user, align the bubble to the right. If it's the model, align it to the left. This helps distinguish who sent what in the chat view. Here, we safely handle the other cases in transcript segment, like structure or any future types. We return an empty view so the app doesn't crash. You can later expand this to support things like structured responses, JSON, code blocks. We're looping through session transcript, which holds all chat entries, either a prompt user message or response AI reply. Each entry represents one turn in the conversation. If it's a prompt, we pass it to message view as isUser true, so it shows right aligned with a gray bubble. We also animate it sliding in from below, using transition offset 500. If it's a response, we render it as isUser false, so it aligns left with no background. Any other entry type is ignored with empty view. Simple, clean split between user and model display. After the messages, we check if isAwaiting response is true. That means the model hasn't responded yet. If the last entry in the transcript is a prompt, we show a thinking, aligned left like an assistant reply. We animate its opacity using with animation repeat forever, so it fades in and out while isThinking toggles. This gives the user feedback that the AI is working. The whole thing only appears if a prompt was just sent and no response has arrived yet. Default scroll anchor bottom for size changes tells the scroll view to automatically stick to the bottom when the content size changes, like when a new message is added. It keeps the latest message in view, just like a real chat app. Then, safe area padding to the bottom, 100 adds extra space at the bottom of the scroll view to make room for the input bar, so nothing gets hidden behind the keyboard or blurred glass. Together, they make the chat flow smooth and always visible, no manual scrolling needed. This is the message input area at the bottom. We use an H-stack to place a text field and a send button side by side. The text field is bound to input text, uses a plain style, grows vertically with axis vertical, and disables itself if the model is already responding. The button triggers send message when tapped. Inside, we use a system name arrow icon and style it with bold weight and conditional color gray when busy, primary when active. The button disables itself if the input is empty or the model is mid-response. Around the whole bar, we add horizontal padding, a glass effect for modern blur, and pin it to the bottom using frame max height infinity, and alignment to the bottom so it always stays above the keyboard. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you're into building smart projects with SwiftUI. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment with any ideas or questions. And see you in the next video.